And now to talk about the interview you just saw with Police Chief Bobby Cummings, we have a local legend, John Watson, who has been on talk radio in Wilmington for 30 years. He is now on WDEL. And I just read online a column that you wrote about crime in the city of Wilmington. So where do you think we're going? Bobby Cummings, good hire?
Good hire.
Why?
Absolutely. Why? Because he's been in the police force for many, many, many years. The people know him in the communities. The community leaders know him. So it seems to me the police chief was the #1 person everyone should have been in favor of. And what did I hear from the city council? City council members were saying, call somebody in from out of, call a new person in. Well, you call a new person in, they wouldn't know anything. They would have to learn the communities, where the hot spots are, what the community is, who are the community leaders, and so forth. They would have to get to know him, and while he's doing all of that, how can he do all of that and also fight crime?
He does. He's impressed me. He did seem impressive, but the task ahead to turn around these crime numbers, that's a monumental task.
I think he's the man who can do it. I think with the mayor and him together, they're going to do it.
Well, he needs a homicide department. I was stunned to find out you have all these. Well, hold on. He has all these homicides. He doesn't have a homicide department.
I don't know why the mayor doesn't come on the line and say, yeah, I'm in favor of the homicide department, because a lot of people in the neighborhoods are calling for the homicide department, and I don't know why they don't have one.
He says he needs 50 more officers to get it up to 370.
They need 400 officers.
They need 400 officers?
They need 400. That's what I think. They need 400 people. Because you need, look at the crime rate in the city. You need more people. Maybe he needs more than 400 people. You need these officers out there everywhere that you can think of.
You seem to say in your article, and what I'm hearing in your voice right now, that the city of Wilmington is undergoing a crisis now. I never thought. I grew up in Philadelphia, just near here, and when I heard about Wilmington all the time.
Well, Philadelphia's a rough city too.
Philadelphia's a rough city, but I never thought Wilmington was. I never heard about crime in Wilmington. Now you got a problem, because every list in the country, you're #1.
We're number one crime. Yes, I'm surprised that people are not just leaving the city. People are still here. I don't know why. We should applaud the citizens in the city. The people in the city are staying here for their city. The problem is, when a crime is committed in your neighborhood, you don't call the police and tell them who it was if you know.
Well, they're afraid.
But
they're afraid. There's going to be ramifications for that. There's going to be retaliation.
But they have anonymous phone calls they can make. They don't have to tell anybody who they are. You simply make a phone call, give the information, and hang up the phone. But one of the problems is, last year there was a woman who was called, and she passed on the information to somebody else, and people are. And that, of course, that makes people a little shy about making a phone call.
Is that the biggest problem right now?
That's one of the problems. One of the need to do is they need background checks. When you've got these people taking these phone calls, these anonymous phone calls, you got to have background checks on these folks that we can trust, and people are not trusting these people. That's the problem, and you can blame the city for that. You can't blame the community for that.
You've been here 30 years. So you've watched what's happened to this city.
And it was a much nicer city when I moved here.
What do you blame? What happened?
I was going to say I blame the community, but you got to place some blame on the mayor and the police as well.
The past mayor and police. This guy just got into office.
Not this mayor. You know what I think? Now, some people are going to laugh, because I've written some columns criticizing the mayor and so forth. But in this particular time, this particular column was in favor of the mayor, because I think the mayor is not being treated fairly. Every time something happens, well, that's the mayor, that's the mayor, that's the mayor. No, I think the mayor is a darn good mayor. I think he is. And I think because he was a police officer or detective for some 20 years and then he retired, I think that makes it. I think that makes him even better because he can work with the police department because he's been there and done it already.
Yeah, and you know what? I would think that as a former police officer, he would want a homicide unit.
I would think he would
I
too.
can't get off of that. I can't imagine that you don't have one.
I'm surprised I didn't write a column about that for WHYY because I blog for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, you write one and then I'll write one.
Okay, fine.
I know you love this city and it must just break your heart what's happening.
What I do. Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't. See, otherwise I'd be renting, not buying. So,
would you come back?
Because I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. And if something happens in my neighborhood and I know something is going on and I see who it is, I'm going to call the police, and if I can identify the person, I'm going to give the identification.
You know, it was a pleasure meeting you, and I do hope you come back another time.
Pleasure meeting you.
Now you are leaving.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
It was wonderful. Right. And we'll be back in just a moment with some final thoughts.